All right. Welcome to The Wise Guys, a podcast where we unleash the unthinkable, see things differently, and shatter the norms to help you expand your worldview. And our desire is that we help you do it just a little bit better. You know, that's the mission. So hi, I'm back, and I'm your host. And in this episode, we've cherry-picked some of our favorite memes. And, you know, if you've been listening to us and you see anything out on Facebook or they're out there, we put them out, I don't know, maybe once a week or once every other week. But, you know, we're going to take some because we just love them. And I think there's some great wisdom. We're the wise guys. So there's some great wisdom there. But with that in mind, I got my wise guys. Here they are. Stu, man.
Mac,
welcome.
Mac, I have to tell everybody that we also call these mystic MacNuggets.
This is true. We don't.
Not just memes. Mystic.
See, I call them sound bites. And I carry you guys with me, sound bites in my head all week long.
I love it.
That's right. Mystic MacNuggets. We've called them that before too, right? Yeah.
Hey, Rev. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I want to say hi to you too.
I'm ready to play ball. Let's go.
This is always fun. And let me say hello to all of you beautiful, exotic cocktails out there. We are glad you're here, and you are going to find a MacNugget or a meme
right.
that is right up your alley.
One of these has been chosen just for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can't run from it though. That's it. You got to you got to own it. All right. So
Mac,
but you cannot hide.
Check this out. I want to do the words to the wise this week.
Oh, all right. Stu,
you ready for this?
You're on.
Okay, here we go. This is from Alan Kay.
Yep.
That's who this is from. It's a quote. The best way to predict the future is to invent it.
Well, we talk about creativity all the time, don't we? That we've got it in us. That's who we are. We're all creatives. Wow. I love that.
What do you think?
Yeah, but we're not all using it. But this quote is saying is take responsibility. Make your future.
Yeah, that's...
You know, in the personal growth world, which I have a lot of experience in, you might say something like this, like, don't wait for opportunities, just make them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what this means to me.
Well, I think we've actually got one of our MacNuggets that...
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, doesn't it? So we'll get there.
Right. You guys are way more kind than me. I just say, get off your ass and make it so.
Okay. That'll work too. All right.
Not quite as juicy a McNugget.
So here's an important one for people to hear in relation to this.
Okay.
These words to the wise. This has to do with society.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So don't just sit back and hope for a better world. Work to build it.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
I didn't mean to get so serious right up front, but
wow, that's
an important thing to say.
I remember the moment I used to sit around saying, why doesn't somebody do something about that? Why doesn't somebody fix that? And then the little voice of God spoke from within me and said, you are somebody.
Okay.
You are somebody. I like it.
You're nominated.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So I thought that was a pretty cool quote. So thanks for the intro, Stu. Yeah.
Thank you, Alan Kay.
Well, we're going to talk about those MacNuggets. So let me just give you a little background, gang, where these things will come from, just so you have a little context. Some of them, well, I don't know, but I guess I can say most of them. I don't want to, but most of them will come from stuff that I'll read that just strikes me, or I'll watch something, or I don't know. I have stuff coming across my radar just all the time. So, I get a little creative. Usually these happen in the morning, right after I've kind of had a little quiet time and
a little caffeine.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. But at the
I don't think I've seen you when your antennas weren't out looking for wisdom.
Well, that's true. Awesome. I mean, I kind of live life like that. But I don't want to take these two guys out of the equation either, because a lot of times they will send me a thought. Hey, what about this? It'll come to me in a text or something like that. And what's so funny is I get the idea behind it, but rarely do I quote it exactly.
You'll be hearing from my attorney.
Yeah, copywritten.
All right.
It's copywritten.
Yeah.
But the fun part is they'll do that, and then I'll post it out there, and they'll laugh. I mean, they'll just laugh because that isn't really. I mean, where I came from.
Sometimes you make it better.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Always.
Maybe.
I think he always does.
Yeah.
Not always. And he's got a good batting average.
I do. Yeah. So anyway, that's where these things sort of come from. That's their background. All right. So, and here's the other thing about them. Whether we put them out there or not, on a social media platform, it's just so fun to be pondering this kind of stuff because it goes through you. I mean, especially when I have to make it and think about it, what's going to be the tagline and what's going to look like. I really enjoy that. I mean, it just is one of my favorite.
Well,
things.
there's a creative process that's fun to participate in.
You take it deeper.
Yeah.
You take a simple idea and you run with it and play with it and work with it, and it goes deeper in you.
It does. That's exactly right.
And that's what I hope happens for our listeners tonight.
Well, I want to spend like just 20 seconds sharing like how they come to me because I think people out there get these themselves, but they kind of push it aside or ignore it. So for me, it could be from anything that I'm doing. I'm watching a movie, I'm listening to a song, I'm pumping gas. Somebody says something that I hear. Like sometimes I overhear things,
right.
And then it'll strike me, like a thought will strike me. And I thought, ooh, that'd be a good meme, or a good MacNugget.
Yeah.
So I encourage all of you out there. These are coming to you. Sure. Don't ignore them. Like try to figure out what they are and what they mean to you.
I think that's great advice. Because again, you're talking about getting the antennas up, right?
Just the antennas up.
Because you will start to experience flavor, I'll call it, of life, that you wouldn't if you didn't kind of go here. So
be on the lookout. Wisdom is everywhere.
That's exactly right. All right. So we're going to just dive in. These are some of our favorite ones. I mean, we've got, I think by now between the old podcast that we did and the new one, I think I got like 250 of them.
There's a lot
like that.
There is going to be a book.
Yeah, I already have
point.
I already got the title.
Maybe cards.
I got the title of the book.
Yeah,
right? I got the cover, everything. Right. So it's. I think it's happening.
Got a pretty good title if you're looking for one though.
Oh,
you coax the blues right out of the horn. Meme.
Oh my gosh.
I'll take that under consideration. Okay.
What's happening?
All right, let's get to it. Here we go. So our first one, this happens to be one of my favorites just because of what I've done in the past. What got you here is not going to get you there. It's time to go into the gray.
Yeah, I love this. And I love this picture. So if you go to YouTube and watch us, you'll be able to see these pictures.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Though.
Yeah. So, but this picture for this one is great. It's a road with, trees on the side. You're like in the mountains to me, and you can't see the end of the road because it's foggy.
Right. It's gray.
So you're going into the gray. Yeah.
I grew up on that road. That road is very close to where I'm sure where I live. And I'm one of the few people in the world that loves the fog.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love fog on a windy road, and I love it in my life as well.
It's going somewhere where you just don't know what it's ultimately going to look like. And sometimes those are transition times in your life. It takes courage.
Mm-hmm.
It takes creativity. We were just talking about that. We love to think a lot of times, and we've been taught this, that we live in a more black and white world. This is this is that, and we're comfortable with that because it defines everything, and you don't have to has discernment by any, just figure out stuff.
It's a quick way to stay stagnant and to stay not growing. If you're on an evolutionary path, you're going to have to enter the gray.
Yes.
You're going to come to the edge of everything that you've known, everything you've thought, and you're going to have to jump.
Mm-hmm. Go into it.
It means stepping out of your comfort zone. I mean, really is what that is.
Right.
There's uncertainty there. But the one thing that I get from this, and not everybody does when I talk to them about this picture, is there's a big trust factor in it.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Because it's kind of like headlights on a car, right? You can't see the road except at the extent of your headlights, but you keep going because you trust that there is more road. So there's a big trust factor in this one, which I love. I love that aspect of it.
So what are the headlights inside all of us? Is it God? Is it our divine self? Is it belief?
I've looked at it as faith. That's one way to look at it. I have faith of, that's my faith right there. I don't need to see all of it.
Right.
I have faith that there's going to be something there.
Well, in that analogy, I've always looked at that as well. That says the beam of light projects into the front of you X number of feet. Whatever. Put your headlight, put your high beams out, whatever it is. It's finite, right? And if that car isn't moving, it's stuck, it's stagnant, it's off.
Yeah.
Then guess what? You're never going to see anything further than the.
You're not moving.
That's right.
You're not evolving. Like
Yeah.
there's transformation in this.
Right.
Some of the best moments of my life and blessings of my life came in the fog. Had I not moved forward, I never would have gotten
Well,
it.
that's where growth lives,
Right. Yep.
is in that gray, in that fog. I mean, that's just where it is, where things aren't really fully figured out yet. You have to figure something out.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, again, that's adventure for me.
Well, I love the trust factor.
50 spiritual shades of gray.
Oh, good thing you said spiritual. Oh my gosh,
You're
that's funny.
supposed to be
I had
your
to
line,
clarify.
Steve.
Yeah,
No, what got you here is not going to get you there. It's time to go into the gray, right? All
Yeah.
right. What's next?
The next
next
nugget.
MacNugget. Our lives are not measured in years, but by the number of touches.
So, I sent you this one, and this one was inspired by a quote from a movie, The Hunger Games, believe it or not.
Mhm.
And it's when one of the main characters was giving a eulogy, talking about like a 12-year-old young girl who had obviously died in the Hunger Games.
Mhm.
And this is what he said. And I thought, wow, that's, I always find messages
Pretty cool.
in movies. I thought that is really cool. It wasn't said exactly like this, and you Macified it. But
Wait, that's a new word. I love that.
Macify, yeah. But it's really, if you think about it, like I've always thought this about my daughter. Like at a very young age, she would say some things that I thought, what? And I would ask my wife, like, did you tell her that?
Yeah.
Like, did you tell her to say that? And, some people just have a wisdom, or they just have lived differently, but it's not based on years. It's not measured in years.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm telling you, in your family, it's in your DNA.
Well, thanks. Well, what I love what you did with this, Mac, is you made it relational.
Absolutely.
You said, by the number of touches. And so, like, to me, it's like a call to really live relationally,
Yes.
like one moment at a time, is kind of how I saw this, the way you kind of worded it.
Right.
So I love this one.
I often pray a
one of my
prayer when I get up in the morning. Let me just find that one person, the one person who needs me to make a difference in their life.
Right.
And by doing that, I find that I have several people that show up in my life that the touch is two-way. They say something, they do something, there's a moment, and it's like, that's the way to live life. I may not be here tomorrow night, so let me make the very most of whoever is in front of me in this moment.
Right. Well, in the picture, I love that. It's almost like the Sistine Chapel picture, right?
Yeah, it is.
Where you've just got two hands and they're touching, fingertips.
Right.
And I thought that was interesting. You also have to say to yourself, what kind of touches? Because there's lots of different ways that we can touch one another, right? Physical touch, obviously, a hug, a handshake, whatever that might be. But you could say a wisdom, you could say something wise, you could say something that could really, and that's a touch. You've touched me.
I tell you, some of the deepest, most profound touches is somebody just looking across the room, and you can tell with their eyes or their head nod, I've got you. You're not alone. I think sometimes the words get in the way.
There's a meme.
That's true.
Sometimes words get in the way. Oh, very cool. Yes, I totally agree. But keep open. Don't define it. Oh, well, touches mean I got to take my, the finger and I got to touch something.
Right.
No, there's all kinds of ways. If you're just out there living your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to touch people.
Living your life consciously.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Being present, loving more, being kind, like those are all ways to touch people.
So open your mind, think differently when it comes to this a little bit.
The world is hungry to be seen, to be heard, to be known. And if you just set that intention, you're going to touch many, many lives.
Right.
So another quick thought on this that people can think about is this. some people will say these words, oh, it's too late. It's too late for me, or it's too late for that. And this meme says it's not too late.
Right.
Because the years don't matter.
Right.
And when doesn't matter. If it's happening now, if it's happening when you're 98, I mean, it's all important.
Right.
Right.
Well, I had a little quote one time. I read Jonathan, not the guy that wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Richard Bach. Okay. He wrote another book, and this was about a guy that was going to be, he was going to be Messiah. All right. And so he had his handbook that was getting passed out. And one of the little headings in there was, here's a test to see whether or not your mission in life is over. If you're alive, it's not.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no fat lady singing in heaven yet.
That's right. Period. All right. So
I like
that
it.
was good. When our lives are not measured in years, but by the number of touches.
Yeah.
Super.
That's
All
good.
right. All right. Here we go. Commitment means you stop getting ready to get ready. Oh, and it will be quite evident when you do.
This is great. What is that? That's a rugby picture, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it shows this guy.
They're getting ready.
They are just in the hunt right here, right? It's going to be evident for sure.
Now, my view of this is quite not as manly as a rugby game, but playing jump rope, you ever got the rope going and you're like leaning in? I want to get in. I want to jump into this game.
Right.
And you never, ever jump in. Because you're afraid, you're going to screw up. And the only way you learn to do jump rope or rugby, it doesn't matter, is to just get into the game, take the hits, take the bruises, take the failures, take the mistakes and go, but I did it.
Yeah.
And that is part of getting ready, is the mistake.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we heard this, from a pastor here in Atlanta that we love. And he says that there's a whole big backstory to this, but we try to say, look for clarity instead of certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you make that shift, it's so easy to sit there and say, well, I need certainty over this before I'm going to go do it, right? Or, whatever. But if you get enough clarity for yourself, stop getting ready. That's your key. That's your cue. Okay?
Yeah.
And again, just press in, because most of the time you got to follow your heart anyway and the spirit within you. And a lot of times we suppress that because we're too rational. We want to think it to the nth degree. And a lot of times you just got to go, okay, enough is enough.
Well, you know what a word is that describes getting ready to get ready? Procrastination. I mean, you could say fear. I mean, fear is part of that.
Sure.
But just get in the game. Like, just start doing whatever it is that you're getting ready to do.
Many a dream has died on the planning room table. It's just, what's this going to plan some more, and it's got to be perfect. And then it just dies and never goes anywhere.
Right. Well, what you're going to do, yes. And what you're going to do when you do this, just like the picture, you're going to get battle scars. You're going to get dirty. People are going to look at you, and it's going to be evident. We talked about this in an episode maybe 2 or 3 times ago, the evidence.
Yeah. Right.
The evidence of the truth, the evidence of your commitment.
The mud on your life, the mud on your body is evidence that you have street creds. I tell you, there's a lot of people that'll give you a lot of advice and theory who've never done it.
Right.
I want the guy that coaching me who's been on the mat, who knows it, the guy on the baseball diamond who's been out there and had the strikeout after strikeout and then hit the home run. That's the guy I want on my team. And I want to be one of those guys on your team.
Right. Well, that's a great thing to aspire to.
Get muddy. Get dirty.
Yep.
It's not the think method. Remember what that's from?
So,
yes. So commitment, it's not like a mindset. Like it's not just about, I intend to do this. It's like, it's movement. It's like taking action.
Correct.
And that's what this is talking about.
Exactly. So think about this, gang. Think about in your own life, right? What are you right now in your life getting ready to get ready over.
Yeah, just do it. Coach Stu says, just do it. Just go. Just go.
There's the advice. The Nike switch,
to the
right?
nudge.
Yeah, we're with you. We are with you. We are here to support you the whole way. Just go do it.
So just make it happen, guy. And here's the other thing about that. We talk about this all the time too. Be around some folks, because you're going to get the naysayers. You're going to get the people that said, I told you so. You're going to get all those kind of folks, but you also need your cheerleaders.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have them. All right. And make sure you surround yourself with the people who are going, man, it's good.
Well, when it comes to the rugby game, I will be the cheerleader.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. All right, here we go. We're going to take it to the next one. Here's the nugget. God isn't looking down. He's looking out. Blink a couple of times and clear his vision.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you have a picture of a gentleman with his hand on his face, and you could almost say like he's contemplating something, but he's looking directly at me.
Right.
Yeah.
His eyes follow you around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like so because he's looking directly at me, I'm looking into his eyes and I see God.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what this is about. Like, God is with us. To me, that's what this is about. God's with us. He's not like above us. Like, maybe he is, but he's with us. Like, he's in us and with us and amongst us and in other people.
The eyes that I'm using to find God are the very eyes that God is using to see itself.
Understand and take in the excitement of that. And maybe there's a little gravity with it too, a little seriousness, because there is a responsibility a bit in that as well. But man, if you're endowed and God looks at the world through you.
Right.
That's pretty dang fantastic, I would say.
I am the eyes, the hands, the ears, the feet, the body of God on earth.
Right.
I need to act accordingly.
Yes.
So I don't want to forget the last line that you wrote, which is blink a couple of times and clear his vision. So it's kind of like clear the fog, right? Our first meme had fog in it, right? It's like clear the fog. And what's the fog? It could be like doubt. Distraction, maybe fear. We talk about fear a lot, right?
Correct.
So it's like clear that, and then you kind of then it opens up for other things to come into your being from God, like love, empathy, maybe truth. I mean, whatever.
Does God need us to focus in order for the full expression of God?
I don't think God needs that. I think we need that to see. To see God and to acknowledge or feel God or however it works for you, hear God,
and there's that term out there, see with your third eye, that kind of thing that goes beyond the physical vision, right? That, it goes beyond, and now you look in a spiritual way, you look in a deeper way, you look outside your norm.
The universe is amplifying what you're looking at, what you are listening to. And when you blink your eyes, it's like a wake-up call. Wake up, because what I'm looking at is going to be increased.
Yes. So
and in the future, when you blink your eyes, you're taking pictures. Tink, chink, chink, chink. It's a future thing. I saw it in a movie.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Right.
So, and I really like this picture. Again, I really encourage you out there, if you've never watched us on YouTube, this is going to be out there, all right? These pictures are going to be there where you can put the words to the picture.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a poignant picture. Right?
Absolutely.
So anyway, God isn't looking down. Don't look to God, up here. It's in here. Okay?
Right.
And that might be a little bit of a might be a little bit of a shocker for some of you.
The kingdom of heaven is within. God dwells within.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. Okay. Here we go. Next one.
So this one, Mac, I think we have to explain the picture before you read it. Right. So let me do that, and then you read it. So the picture is basically in a car. It's the brake pedal and the gas pedal.
Right.
That's the picture.
Exactly. So you got the two pedals there that each have their own function. Right. So here it is. One of them is for safety. One of them is for the open road. Now here's the encouragement. Focus on the one that blows your hair back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Step on the gas.
Yeah. There
Let
we
up
go.
on the brake.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always say there's a third pedal there that I want. It's the clutch that's going to cause me to have to shift to a higher gear, a higher consciousness.
I like that too. Yep.
Well, this to me is about living courageously, you know, and choosing kind of, you know, momentum, since we're talking about the gas pedal, like over fear, right? And just having the courage to do that.
Right.
You know, and because if you look at what the brake represents, that's like, you know, I mean, think about it, hesitation, fear. It's like you're putting think about that phrase, you're putting the brakes on, right? You're slowing down. It's like, ooh, I'm going too fast. Whatever. It could be in a relationship.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's scary. A lot of people, I lived my life this way a lot. I had my foot on the brake.
You got him on both? You are not
and
that
then
guy,
somebody
Rev.
said, let go of the brake. And man, I burned rubber.
Yeah.
And it was scary as hell. Man, was it a high.
You know,
Did you leave your comfort zone when you did
I
that?
way off my comfort zone.
I used to do
rubber
that.
on the road.
I used to do that too. And I was riding with my mechanic one day because we were test driving my car and going out, I mean, to make sure everything was working right. And he saw me do that. And he goes, you got to stop that like right now. You want to wear your brakes out? Keep doing that, right?
You want to wear your life out. I've lived my life. I wore myself out. Why am I not going? I was moving forward, but I had the brake on. Man, I was killing myself.
Hey, let me talk to the exotic cocktails out there.
Okay.
All right. So the brake, another thing the brake could be for you is overthinking. How many people do this?
Yeah, they
overthink. Some people overthink every single situation.
Right.
Oh, that's a stressful life,
get ready, right?
So here's what I'm going to tell those people: stop over braking.
Oh,
like what I did there?
That ought to be. I like that.
That would be a little push.
Start accelerating.
Yeah,
that's the new meme. Stop over braking. Start accelerating. Live the kind of life that makes your soul feel the wind.
That's right. It blows your hair back, man.
It blows your hair back. Yeah.
So I'm going to say everybody in your life is either a brake pedal or a gas pedal.
Oh.
Decide accordingly where you're going to spend your time.
Wow.
Oh. Well,
I've got some people, long, wonderful friends from way back, and they were brakes in my life. They held captive. Well, I love them. Yeah. I had to go on down the road into the fog.
That's a tough decision. You know, well, here's another example of this. How many times, I'm not going to ask how many times, when you're behind that person that's riding their brake.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, not only do you see those brake lights on and off, on and off, on and off, okay? But it doesn't frustrate that ever often. Come on. Would you just push the gas pedal? It's just, and I think, I think the people that if you're going to surround yourself with the kind of people that love to get their hair blown back, then if you aren't willing to enter into that excitement, to that, just that roar of the engine. Bruce Springsteen sings about that kind of stuff all the time. Then you're going to probably, just like the Rev was just talking about, you're probably going to get left behind per se, just as the other people are experiencing life in a whole different way.
Well, that
doesn't mean you're not friends or anything anymore.
You may not feel as alive as you can.
Right.
By allowing that to happen.
Correct. Right. I think that's true.
I mean, you're missing it.
Yes, I agree completely. Not to be a wet blanket, but could it be that God put that person in front of you because you are all living with gas? Let me tell you, that's a dangerous life too. It's all gas and no brake.
True.
That maybe that person is in front of you at every stoplight.
Rev, are you teaching me patience? Is that what you're doing?
Well, I think you had that experience today. You shared it earlier.
Well, no, I think that's a great point because there is a purpose for the brake. The brake does have a purpose.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to say just buy a car with only a gas pedal. All right. But, use it sparingly, I guess is the...
I think what the Rev is saying is we can find meaning, the wise guys, out of anything.
Pretty much. That would be us. Yeah. So one's for safety, one's for the open road.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So
no Thelma and Louise going on today, right?
No way. All right. So I don't know, we're halfway through some of these ones that we got, maybe. I'm not sure. Something like that. So we're going to take a little quick break right now, and we will be back shortly, so stay with us.
Like what you hear so far? Join us in the Rogue Nation by going to our website, gorogue.life, where you will find links to our social media and podcast channels and a way to subscribe to all our happenings. We encourage you to become a member of our cafe, where you can interact with us and fellow roguers and keep the conversation going. Please share us and like us. Now, let's get back to our Wise Guys.
All right, welcome back to the Wise Guys. And we've been talking about, and in this episode, we're going to continue to talk about MacNuggets, mystic MacNuggets, as we've called them in the past. But it's just little life snippets that we use. We put these out periodically. We told you the backstory on them. And so we're just going to kind of continue on in the same vein that we've been for this.
And I tried to give a segue to this next meme from the last one about the break. This one plays.
Yes, it does. You're right. A pause, right? A little pause. All right. So here it is. Life pulls us back, but as it gathers energy for something even greater.
Yeah.
And the picture, right?
Yeah, the picture is somebody that is shooting a bow and arrow, and they have it pulled back.
Drawn
in the picture, drawn. Yeah. And they're going, what did I say? Loose it when you let it go, loose.
Yep.
I learned that from Braveheart, the movie Braveheart.
Oops. I thought you were going to say Robin Hood, but
well, that too. They say it there as well.
So yeah, I mean, think of all the times in your life that life has seemingly negatively pulled you back. Think about that. And I'm sure everybody's got, oh yeah, I remember when. Oh yeah, I remember when. But if you can put this last little part into the equation, now you can't do anything about what's already happened. But what about the next time when you feel that way or it looks that way? Add this to it, but it's gathering energy. It's gathering energy in me. I'm gathering energy for something even.
His life cyclical. I'm playing the words in my head. Ready, set, go. Ready and set are important parts. And when they're pulling back that bow, I've got to aim. That's an important part to hitting the target. If I just go, the pull back is necessary to the success.
Yeah. Well, it creates the momentum. It creates the power.
I think what you're saying with life pulls us back and referencing the bow and arrow is looking like a setback.
Yes. Right.
So the way that and this took me a little while to get here, but the way the way that I look at setbacks is that they're actually like a setup for something greater that's going to happen.
See, now, that was my point. Exactly. It's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. But here's the trick, people. You're probably not going to know what that is.
Yeah.
And you have to, again, I go back to trust. You have to just trust, you know? And so when you have a setback, what are your options? You're going to look at it like, I have a setback. Yeah. Suck your thumb. Right. And like, or you're going to look at it like, okay, with excitement, like, oh man, something's coming my way. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be awesome.
I'm leaning in, man.
Yeah.
I'm leaning in.
Something good's about to happen.
And here's the thing. With a bow and arrow, okay, follow my analogy. With a bow and arrow, the further you pull it back, the more tension. What do you think that arrow does?
Well, more energy.
More energy, and the further it goes.
Right.
So think about that. When you have a major setback and it's getting pulled back, and you're getting killed and destroyed, and you're like, oh my gosh, you can't take anymore. When you get launched forward, that is going to be an amazing thing.
Right.
It's going to be an amazing
God
experience.
Getting you ready with the tension. Are you getting set to be all that you can be when you go so far?
I believe so.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is part of the mystery of God for me. I mean, there's things that God understands that I don't, and I'm okay with that. And
I hope so.
And, yeah, for sure. and it's going to be something wonderful for me because that's what God wants.
Right.
God wants something wonderful for me and for you, Mac, and for you, Rev, and for you exotic cocktails out there.
So I get to the dark night of the soul and go, something amazing is about to be birthed in me, as me, around me.
That's right. Well,
that mindset changes everything about where you're going.
I think it makes, you're right. It makes all the difference, and I think but you have a choice. I think, as we've already said, you have a choice. You can curl up in the fetal position and you can just, in the corner, and that's that.
Right.
It's going to get any better. I did
That's
a meme.
no fun, though.
I did, that's for sure. Well, I did a meme way back, and we didn't do it tonight, but it said, start at the finish and let the rest of it catch up.
Okay.
Get the end in mind.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so life pulls us back as it gathers energy for something greater. Just lean in. What else can we say, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. We love getting answers to our questions. We're all like that, right? Maybe it's time to question our answers.
Yeah, the Rev says this a lot.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a shakeup.
I'm constantly questioning myself. And that's part of my spiritual path.
Yeah.
It's coming to the edge of what I've believed up to this point. Maybe serve me to a point. I need to put it down and open my mind to a new thought.
Well, again, we tend to think, well, we got the answer. Let's move on. And maybe there isn't enough discernment in us, whether it's an exciting thing that we like to do, it's our personality, whatever it might be, but to just say, well, wait a minute now. There's the answer that I was given. Let's see. Does that really answer my question?
I'm so grateful for the people in my life that question me, that I'll say something and they don't let me get away with just saying something. They want to know where that came from. How did you live that? And is it still valid in your life?
Correct.
And many times it is. Sometimes it's not, thanks for asking.
Right.
Because I think I need to stretch a little.
Right.
It can undermine your credibility too.
Well, earlier in this episode, we talked about certainty.
Right.
So this meme moves from certainty to curiosity.
Yes. Right. To asking the what if.
Yeah. So where answers that may close some doors for you can get opened to new ones if you question your answers.
I have to be willing, humble, vulnerable enough to allow the questions into my life. If I'm just living in certainty, I'm going to call that stagnation. I've made up my mind. I've got the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I don't need to hear anything else.
Pretty limiting,
It just shuts down God. It shuts down life.
Well, you don't get any aha moments, do you?
Well, this is how I think you evolve, and get to a higher consciousness.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
So just, you don't have to question everything and be a pain in the, every time you talk to somebody, but at the same time, you just can't buy into everything that you hear. That
questions can come from a place of love.
Sure.
I'm going to ask questions because I want to know you more.
Correct.
How did you come to that conclusion? What does that do to make your life better? Those are good questions.
Absolutely.
And is it still valid?
Right.
Let's go to one. I think Stu said this was a good one for him.
For this one.
Yeah, no, he's been waiting for this one.
It's a good one, yeah.
So here we are. The next one. Listen to the transmissions during your transitions.
Yeah, so the picture on this one is a satellite. Which tells me that the transmissions refer to messages or insights or wisdom or something that's coming. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe your inner voice, maybe God, some higher being. I mean, intuition, dreams. There's a lot this could be.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
Where I believe God happens the most is it's like in using a trapeze. The trapeze artist has let go of one bar and the other one hasn't quite arrived. There I am hanging in the middle. That's a transition. That is when you're going to get download after download after download of something new and exciting.
Correct.
Epiphanies, revelations are going to come, and it's scary. Right. I'm in transition. I've let go of something, and I haven't grabbed what's coming. That's when God happens.
Yes.
It's juicy.
We call it liminal space as well. We've used that many times in the past. It's that, exactly that transition time. And the other thing I learned is we've talked about that word on and off over the years. Don't be in a real big hurry to get out of the transition. Mm-hmm. If you're trusting, like Stu says, mm-hmm. and you have the Spirit moving within you, and it directs and it animates, mm-hmm. from one of my favorite mm-hmm. verses, right? Then you'll know you're going to stay there for as long as you need to stay there. And don't hurry the process. And at the same time, what's our other meme? Stop getting ready to get ready.
Right.
Because we can justify all kinds of stuff. Right. So, you're going to have transitions. Don't get in such a big hurry, or don't get fearful. Don't get fretful. Don't get, upset. There's all kinds of things.
It's okay to feel. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling fearful, but I'm not letting it control me.
Correct.
Because what happens if you do is you go grab the comfortable. They go back to where it was because this is uncomfortable in the hanging zone. Or they just grab the first thing that comes down the line, and it maybe is not what God has intended for you.
Yes.
So here, one more comment on this. So here's what's important with listening to the transmissions part of this mm-hmm. meme is you have to tune in to receive it. So how do you tune in to get the messages, right? Maybe you have to tune other things out to get the message. Or you can be tuning into it to get the message.
That's a good point.
So this goes goes to Coach Stu's mixing board analogy, mm-hmm. where we tune things in or out depending on what you're trying to receive, or
very cool,
or get the noise out. But that's that was another part of that I really.
How much more powerful could life be if I'm meeting God halfway? The transmission isn't getting to me because I'm not tuning into the frequency.
Right. Or this just came to me as we were looking at the picture. What's another component of that satellite dish? It moves.
Oh, yeah.
It turns in order to do what? To get a better reception.
Yeah.
And sometimes that requires us to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. We turn our vision, we turn our mind, we turn our feet,
our eyes, our ears, but we're looking at what we're listening to.
Correct.
Back to the other meme, that's the tuning process.
Yes. So pretty cool one. I know Stu likes that one. All right, last one. Here we go. Put it all in the middle of the table. Now, carefully select, reimagine, and expand. Let what needs to go.
Ta-ta.
Oh. Uh-huh. The pictures, you'll love the picture too, because sometimes we talk about this, ism that putting all the marbles. There's a picture of all the marbles just in the middle of the table.
Right.
And that way you can choose each one of those marbles is a component of you, your life, whatever it might be. And so examine it. Examine that marble. Does this make sense or not? Should it stay on the table? Or should I let it go?
Mm-hmm.
And when you keep the ones, what's your discernment process? What's the filter that you run the marble through? You select it, you reimagine it, and you expand it. And if those three things don't come together with that marble, guess what? Let it go.
Right? Yeah. We've talked about letting go of things that no longer serve you.
Correct.
This is part of it, like maybe outdated beliefs you have, toxic relationships. Who hasn't?
I was talking about that earlier.
Yeah, fears, regrets, things like that. But here's what's important to me in this one. You said put it all in the middle of the table. You got to lay it all out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to, and that's how you be vulnerable and honest with yourself and with others.
Correct.
You just got to lay it all out there.
Nothing hidden. Complete authenticity. My whole life since I was a kid, I have been hungry and thirsty for a community of people that could let it all hang out. Mm-hmm. Put it on the table with no blame, shame. Here it is. Let's look at it. Let's play with it, and let's release what needs to be released.
Right.
That's a scary place for most people in the world. They don't want. It's one of the reasons I enjoy what we do here on Tuesday nights. Even in the pre-show, we get really real with each other.
Yeah.
And it's loved and it's appreciated and it's not judged.
Correct.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
it's a lot of fun.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you can't hold the Aggie back, right? Isn't that what the one magic marble?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one, I'm going to keep that one in my pouch. All right. So anyway, put it all in the middle of the table and let what needs to go. I love this stuff, guys. It's so fun. That we've been doing tonight.
Mac, like you said in the very beginning, we have hundreds of these.
Yeah,
I mean,
we do.
There's so many.
Yes. And so,
Well, and back to what you originally said is have your radar out. I'm
Yes.
asking all the wise gals and rogers and whatever we call these people that listen to us is to have your antennas out.
Yes.
Be looking for wisdom that is everywhere.
Yeah.
Just like Mac does. I want to be you when I grow up. That kind of radar system.
I don't know, but I think collectively we're some of the parts, that whole thing, right? So fun stuff, guys. Thanks for so much for your wisdom, your insight, because I can do these all day long, but that's my perception. That's my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys bring a whole nother really cool dynamic to it all. So this is what it is. So we're hoping, our prayer is for you to grasp one of these, if not more. Just pick one that we're talking about and mull over it, ponder it, and then somehow or other in your life, put some wheels on it.
Coax the blues out of the horn meme.
There it is.
Wasn't any funnier the second time.
But we appreciate you listening to us. Again, we always hope that this brings value. We're having a little fun with it tonight. Keep an eye out there on our Facebook page, the Wise Guys Facebook page. We'll post some of these, periodically. So keep an eye out for them. And let us know. I mean, if one of them happens to strike you and you actually, put it to use and take it to heart, we want to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Put it on there.
Yeah.
Sure. So thanks for listening. Again, we appreciate it. Everything you do to tune in, tell everybody you know about us, like us, all the good stuff. And we will be back next week with another
Unthinkable conversation.
conversation.